powerful jaguar. Oh, I just feel so powerful. Like a powerful jaguar. Hello, Mr. Jaguar. Mr. Jaguar. I could do a rap song here. Anyway. Like a powerful jaguar. Oh, I just feel so powerful. Like a powerful jaguar. Hello, Mr. Jaguar. Mr. Jaguar. I could do a rap song here. Anyway.
All right, hello, and welcome to another episode of Sci-Fails. I am your host, Miss Bumblebee, and my headphones are slipping off. Eek. And today we are going to be looking into some alternative medicine, but not for people, for pets, because I've been enjoying doing. I did the windmill cancer video. I'm like, I really want to do another alternative medicine video, right? And I couldn't figure out what to do. I've talked to a few people. I actually have another big alternative medicine video on the back burner, but I'm consulting some people. I have lots of friends who work in the medical field. I'm doing like a expose thing. So I was actually thinking about doing it this week, but after talking to some of my friends about how I'm approaching it, I've decided I want to do a more holistic approach to it. So look forward to that in the coming weeks as well, because we will be cracking that open and exploring it. Now, today we're talking about holistic medicine, right? So I don't have a lot of problem with holistic medicine. It's generally taking care of the whole self, right? It's mental. Especially because it goes a long way towards ending the stigma about mental health care. However, I don't accept spiritual. Hate boner made me think of the scene in John Dies at the end. But now I lost my train of thought because he said hate boner. So I don't believe in spiritual stuff, right? I don't generally. I don't think that unless you're using spiritual to mean the electrical pulses that we generate from our body are some type of spirit. Maybe, I don't know, but the idea that animals have spirits is something that's promoted by a lot of these nature paths, and woo types. Today we're going to be looking at one such person. This is the holistic animal health coach. Now, if she was just saying giving us actual animal health information and talking about animal behavior, ethology is a whole study of the way animals behave and react to certain stimulus, right? There's tons of peer review research on it. It's like one of my favorite topics. So, especially interspecific conflict between two different species like hyenas and lions. I love looking into how these animals balance out their environment. But if she was just talking about that and maybe making some nutritional suggestions for pet care and proper grooming and time management with your pets and stuff like that, it'd be great. But that's not what she's doing here. First, I'm gonna let her introduce herself on her own intro video. It's only a minute and a half, but this will give you an idea of who we're talking to or who we're talking about. Oh, muted. Hold on.
Yeah, I've been there myself. Okay. Who of you out there have ever worried or concerned about your pets for some reason? I know you're out there, I've been there myself. A little uneasy because something's not right and you've got no clue what it is and you don't know what to do about it. What I've found with my intuitive skills is I'm able to connect with an animal, have a little chat and figure out exactly what it is they need. Hi,
She's going to have a chat with the animals. She's going to go full Dr. Doolittle.
Romy Bueller, the Holistic Animal Health Coach. Over the past 8 years or so, I've helped hundreds of people with their pets.
I'm going to have to put it in been studying going, Bueller. Bueller. Yeah, you know the scene.
From figuring out that elusive health issue, the strange behaviour that's appeared out of nowhere, and even helping find missing animals. I know the struggle.
See, that's my problem with psychics in general when they do stuff like that. Oh, I'm going to help you find your missing pet. I'm going to help you find your missing family member. I'm going to help you find your long lost birth parents. Things like that. It's gross. Don't do that to people. Stop it. Get help.
I've been there myself, but it doesn't have to be that way, and I'm here to help you understand exactly what it is that your animals need. I know you love them, and I know you're trying to help them. And I
chat with my animals too. I think that our animals pick up our mannerisms and tones of voices and stuff. And dogs and cats can understand several words. Dogs, understand lots of commands. Cats can understand commands and can be taught to respond to commands too. Not as easily because they're in different character. But cats can do that. Yeah. Let's see. Keep your crystals away from my dog. Only Mr. Noodle responds. Is your cat named after Mr. Noodle from Elmo's World? La 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 Elmo's World. My kids watched Elmo, so I know Mr. Noodle. Mr. Noodle was also the guy doing the presentation on in the Vegas police convention in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The guy was like, "What is a dope fiend?"
I can help you with that. If you'd like to learn more from me, maybe some tips or tricks or techniques, fill your name and email address in below and I will be in touch. I'm Romy Bueller, talking to animals because they can't always help themselves.
All right. So, first thing we're going to look at here, she's going to talk to some goldfish and goats. She's going to talk to goats. Before she even gets started, and I think me and her are both in agreement on this, do not keep goldfish or betas in a tiny bowl. Despite what the pet trade has tried to push on us for the last 80 years about these animals, they need more space than that, and goldfish at least are social.
Welcome to the chat box, everyone. I'm looking forward to this segment. We missed it in the last episode, so tonight we have two animals coming up for a chat. This week we are specifically talking to wild goats and goldfish. And this is where we're going to start. We're starting with the goldfish. And while I wasn't specifically asking for the goldfish that was trapped in a glass bowl, this is the goldfish that wanted to chat with us, which makes perfect sense as we get into it. Now, our viewer question was this: do they really have a 3-second memory? They didn't really see the purpose of asking that question, actually, but they obliged with an answer. And this is what they said: call it whatever you like. We live by sense, and if you want to give that a label, then call it memory. It's of no relevance to us how you use your language.
So, wow, that's an articulate. Exactly, Tsunami, exactly. One beta fish needs 5 gallons minimum, and that's tiny. That's like if you have one beta fish with that, you're gonna need like minimal decorations and stuff in there, but you still need decorations because beta fish also need stuff to hide in because that's their natural behavior is to they do the back and forth out of their hiding spot kind of lifestyle. So, yeah.
I suggested that they may need to remember where to go for safety. And this is when I knew that I'd invited in the pet goldfish, because the answer to that was no, we're in glass bowls, not oceans. I asked how they felt about that and was told in a very matter-of-fact...
Well, so some goldfish are in bowls, but yeah, there's a lot of places that do take good care of their goldfish. A nice goldfish pond is their optimal habitat. That's what's natural for them. Like a pond, a small pool or pond, or still area of a creek or river. There's a few places that I know of in the wild here where people have released goldfish into areas of the creek where it pools, right? There's goldfish in this bend in the creek because people dump their pets in there. So it does happen, but 30-gallon tank is probably good for a good school of goldfish. You could probably keep half a dozen goldfish in that. So goldfish like to live in schools. They like to live in little clusters together. And betta like to live in a place where there's a grassy hiding spot, because they live their whole life. They're pond livers too in nature, but they back into a little crevice or corner and make that their home under some shelter. They come out to eat or mate or attack, but they always pull back into their hiding spot.
And blunt manner, it is the slowest form of torture on the planet. Doesn't that make you feel good? Anyone out there have a goldfish on their kitchen bench or in their kid's bedroom?
Most people, I think that idea has like been kicked to the curb, right? We no longer generally encourage. There are still places where you can get a small goldfish bowl. And there are things you can keep in those bowls too. Don't throw out your goldfish bowl, because they're perfect for some desert beetles. You just put a little bit of substrate in there, some rocks, and you could even put real plants in there and get some blue death feeding beetles. Put real plants in there, like cactuses or whatever, and put it near a window. Freaking beautiful little pet, and it's happy. It's happy in this little environment because they don't need too much. Hermit crabs are another critter that can be kept in a fairly small enclosure, as long as you give it all the stuff that it needs, because they're not big travelers. But fish that live in a three-dimensional world, a lot of them need that extra space, right? They need, You have plants in a goldfish bowl. Yeah, it's cute when you do that. Especially you can layer the different layers of. I used to do because you do drainage rocks on the bottom, right? So I would do different colors, layered colors of aquarium rocks, and then put a layer of soil on top of that. That way you have good drainage too.
Nothing is meant to be held captive for your pleasure, particularly when we're mostly forgotten, unfed, and left to die. Plastic plants and colourful stones that give off what they called water fumes should not exist. We are not toys. We are not a child's pleasure or teaching tool to learn how to...
So, water fumes, and the plastic stuff that you put inside your vivariums and terrariums should be approved, right? But they shouldn't be releasing any kind of chemicals into your water. If you're running into that with the aquarium decor and stuff that you get, then you need to go to a more accredited, I guess, aquarium provider. You shouldn't be dealing with that from products that are supposed to pass inspection and be safe for your fish.
Care for something. We're often kept alone and without company, and that is another torture. We like being with other goldfish. The bowls are suffocating. We're often kept in the dark, and which causes problems with sight and a sensitivity when the lights go on and off. Now, when I communicate with an animal, I'll often be shown in my body how that feels for them. So with this, I felt an uncomfortable stinging sensation in my eyes that I couldn't shake off, and I couldn't get away from it. And this is how it feels for them. They also show me the water is too hot, and my entire body feels extremely hot, but particularly in my head, which is quite unbearable. It was a quick chat, and I finished off by asking them what they'd like us to...
Yeah, don't get your decorations from like a craft store or something. I know they have some cool stuff at craft stores, but you cannot put those in with your pets. They're just not safe. They can be treated with chemicals or sprayed down with preserving agents that are dangerous to your pets, whether they're arthropods or they're a reptile or something like that, or they're fish. If you do collect stuff in the wild, you can do that. Just make sure you bake it. You can go out and get pretty rocks. You have a rock tumbler, for instance. You can make your own aquarium rocks. But just make sure you bake it to kill everything that's in it, and you give it a good rinse down with some distilled water. Anyway, I don't know why I'm giving you all like pet care tips you didn't ask for.
Humans to know, and I was very bluntly told that humans don't know how to look after us, so they shouldn't. We are not your trial and error. If you want to look at something pleasurable, go outside and look at a natural vista.
How the hell does a goldfish that lives its entire life in a bowl know what a natural vista looks like? These animals are quite articulate, but how do they know?
Couldn't agree more, actually. His parting words were, "We would rather die than live unethically in captivity." I would have to agree. Living in captivity or an unnatural environment for anyone would be a long and painful death. So jumping in...
I wouldn't keep any kind of fish in anything smaller than a 10-gallon tank. That's just my opinion. I know there are some species that they'll give you a 5-gallon limit on. You can keep fairy shrimp in a 5-gallon, right? Those are fun and beautiful and cute. But you won't. There's no fish not any fish that I can think of that could thrive in a tank that small. I don't know what the minimum size for tetras are, but tetras do well in a 10-gallon tank. Goldfish do well in a 10-gallon tank. Angelfish do well in a 10-gallon tank, as long as they're not overcrowded. But you could keep one or two together. But as far as goldfish go, they actually, again, they prefer to be in ponds and things. But you can't keep them in an aquarium. The best way to keep goldfish is the way you see them in the pet shop, though. That is really the best way that they love to live, in the big swarming school. So a big 30-gallon tank full of a few dozen goldfish will be freaking awesome. Yeah, be careful with your shrimp with filter intakes. Another thing you can keep in small aquariums, I've done this before, but I had recently actually, is a giant water bug. And you don't need any kind of pump or filtration system for them.
Into our goats now. Well, maybe not literally, but we're going to have a chat to them. I'm particularly talking wild goats and mountain goats and the tree goats. One of our viewers sent me an article a couple of weeks ago wondering how and why on earth these goats would want to wander so precariously on the edge of rock walls and cliff faces.
They're born for it. That's what their body has evolved to do. Goats are what happens to sheep when they live in a vertical world, right? Sheep, goats. Yeah, just goats can climb stuff that's the angles they can climb it up to. I think was it like a 94 degrees or something like that. They can climb like up walls that are slightly angled inward.
And the goats that eat the argan fruit in the tops of trees, which is just really bizarre. When I asked for a Spoats goat to come through for a chat, they wanted to send me two, one for the mountain goats and one for the tree goats. So we'll split them up. Unlike the goldfish, the goats felt really caring towards our ignorance.
Yes, they like the salt licks on the walls. That is true. Mountain goats are scary AF. That is true.
The goldfish felt just a little bit more frustrated, I think. The goats think we are far too logical, particularly with what we think is right and wrong and normal or unusual. And this is what they had to say about wandering.
I kind of figured goats would be based. They'd be like, yeah, don't let other people tell you what's normal. Just be yourself. Yeah. So she's telling us goats are based, which sounds right because, they're goats.
Right on the edge of these cliff faces. This is all we have ever known, and it is very natural to us. This defies logic to you. You lack trust in things that don't make sense to you. We are purpose-built for this terrain. I asked them, are you looking for anything specific when you're skirting the rock edges? And I have seen videos many years ago of them.
Predators can't get them either, except for maybe cougars and snow leopards are both specialized to hunt in the same environment that these guys are specialized to live in. So there is a correlation there. One time when they can keep their fuzzy butts away from me if I'm trying to boot scoot my way across the Crocs. Yeah, so when I went to the Grand Canyon, right, and I had my kids with me, and the kids were small at the time. The kids were kind of running a couple of yards ahead. There were lots of people there, but the kids were running a few dozen yards ahead on the trail because, my partner at the time was disabled, so I had to move slower for her and did wanted the kids to run off their energy though, so they ran ahead. This freaking ram, not a mountain goat, but a bighorn sheep, came down came down out of nowhere, off the vertical cliffs, just walked straight down into the trail between me and my kids, and decided it was going to set up camp there and just kind of hang out. And we knew that we weren't supposed to approach it, right? So we just had to kind of wait for it to finally get off the trail so we could move forward. But these trails were super narrow running down the trail that we were on. I can't remember what the name of it was off the top of my head, but it was super narrow in that area, and there was no way to get around it, and it just walked down the wall. It was crazy.
These goats, and they're licking the rocks, and to me I was assuming that was probably licking nutrients. So I was interested to hear what they had to say about that. So
yeah, minerals and salt. Mm-hmm.
I asked him, what are you doing when you're skirting the edges? And he says, yes, they're looking for the sweet spot. And they sniff that sweet spot out, and when they hit it, there's such a distinct smell, and it's warm and dense and salty. They also show me this in taste, where the regular wall tastes of not much, a bit dusty, sandy, but the sweet spot is super salty. I ask what these nutrients do to their body that they're licking off the wall, and I hear that it enriches their blood and it strengthens their heart. Now, to the question of...
Well, they need salt to... just their biology requires the minerals that they're getting from these salt licks. That's most artidactyls do have this this drive. Persidactyls do too. Horses and tapirs and stuff. They'll like a salt lick as well.
How they walk on the walls with what looks like little to no space or grip. I'm shown in a more physical way a sense of being drawn into the wall, like I'm leaning in, but I'm not really leaning in or on the wall as such. They're very balanced and steady. Their hooves grab onto the rocks like really strong fingers, like in the center of their hoof, it's like they just kind of grip on.
So they walk on two fingers, okay, but they've been kind of fused together, and their fingernail has fused together in these two half circle teardrop shapes, right? And then on the inside of that, in the middle, is it's like your fingertip, a little thicker padding, but all around that teardrop shape is a sharp edge that hooks on to different places in the rock. It will find a grip if there is one to be found.
I asked them if they ever fall, to which they respond, of course, that is the true course of nature. Many of us fall, but the majority of us don't. I'm shown then a neurological disease that affects their eyesight.
See, Ring, I think that she watched a video about kids' video on goat zoology, and then made this video saying the goats told her that, when she actually got it from like Brightside or something.
And their judgment and their balance. Now, this is something that leaches from the rocks, and that it is very addictive. And to them, in small doses, it's fine, but in large doses, it can cause this problem. All par for the course, I feel. They seem really practical with what goes on for them. Now for the tree goats, which just messes with my logical head. I'll drop some photos here so you can see what I'm talking about.
It's because you don't think about these animals being arboreal, but they are. There's a lot of arboreal animals that you just don't generally think about. People will say orangutans are the largest arboreal animal, but I would question whether goats could contest them for that title, because at least these goats very much live their lives in trees, at least on par with a semi-arboreal animal like a black bear.
Talking about, but it's actually pretty cool. What I found out after I chatted with these tree goats was that they are getting into these trees for the argan trees, and they're getting into the trees for the fruit. Now, I have a black and white kid goat with me, and he just bounces up this tree like it's nothing with pure ease, and it's the most natural thing in the world for them to do. They're so light. I ask how they stay up there, and again, I'm showing the answer to this by way of feeling it myself. And I know that might be hard to get your head around, but if you can imagine yourself water skiing and the strength you might feel in your legs and your arms as you're trying to get out of the water, and then the lightness once you're up and that exhilaration, it's those feelings of strength and lightness and ease that you feel in your body. Not that water skiing is easy, mind you, but if you can imagine that, it's the same kind of thing. I'm just feeling that on behalf of an animal. With this, I'm basically the goat in the tree, and I feel this perfect balance and
You're the goat in the tree. She's calling herself the goat.
strength in both their hooves and their legs. They're locked onto those branches like a quad lock, if any of you know what that is. It's a super strong mounting system for your mobile phones that go on your bikes or your car or scooters. I ask them why they go up there, and their response is very short: why not? Then I ask them, isn't there food on the ground? Yes. Cute a few words here. And it's like, well, why not just eat that? It would be much easier. And he says to me, only to you. He's so unconcerned about it. And again, it just seems like the most natural thing for them to do. When I ask...
Well, actually, we're semi-arboreal too, so we like the tree. We climb the trees for the fruit too. We just don't do it as much anymore because we've industrialized ourselves. But we are a semi-arboreal species, so we definitely have as much climbing prowess as a goat. Maybe, yeah. Not on a rock wall, but on a tree. In a tree.
The wild goat fraternity, if they have a message for us, the wild goats and the tree goats, they say, dream the impossible. Don't be led by logic. It'll get you nowhere.
Dreaming those big goat dreams.
Today, don't you think? Now, if there was anything you wanted to ask an animal like this, let me know, and I will get the lowdown from them for you. That's the end of our show for tonight. As always, it's been a great pleasure to have you here. Please jump on and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the bell so you get notified of new shows coming up. And follow all the pages. Share it around.
Be the goat in the tree. Yeah. I feed my goat Adderall. So much fun to watch. Aw, don't do that. When life gives you lemons, interview them.
With your animal-loving family and friends, that would be...
All right, we're going to watch one more real quick because she does the jaguar. The jaguar.
Feels like to be in motion in your body. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be another animal? What it feels like to be in motion in your body? What you can smell, what they taste, what they hear? Maybe it's just me and the fact that I do this every day, but let me tell you this. Well, before I tell you that, let me tell you this other thing. Everybody can do this, including you. That's a whole other conversation.
You hear that, guys? We can all talk to animals. We're all Dr. Doolittles.
On how to, but you can, just know that. So just coming back to how that feels, there are really no words to articulate the feeling of becoming another animal and sensing from all of their senses. Like this guy who came to visit me in my walk the other day. Walking for me is a little bit like a meditation. It is a place where I can just still my mind because it's a very busy mind and it has trouble shutting down, but I can still my mind and just, you know, if I have questions that need answering, they usually come in then. It's also like a little portal for anyone and anything that wants to come and chat to me. And I was really not even thinking about animals, to be honest. And this cat, this black cat, came into my inner vision. And I actually knew...
Can you tell us more about this inner vision? Can you give us the more in depth as to what it is and how it works and how it's entailed? I know that you said we could all do it, so I want to be able to talk to the animals.
Knew that it was a black jaguar, but I thought to myself, oh, maybe this is just a regular domesticated black cat. And for some reason, because this is what my head does, I went off to think, what does it feel like for them to become invisible? And then it was just like I opened a door for the black jag to just share with me all sorts of really interesting things. Well, they were interesting to me, and if you're still here, maybe you might find these interesting too. So the first thing, you know, because animals can make themselves invisible really easily. We have an energy field. Everybody has an energy field. We can feel each other outside of ourselves. So, you know, you go into that boardroom or that meeting and there's just something really not quite right. There's someone in there that might be really angry or snarky or something like that, and you can feel it when you walk in the door. We're feeling each other's energy. The same thing for animals. So what I was getting shown with the black jaguar was their energy field comes right down about a foot off their body.
Their energy field comes down about a foot off their body, so they have like extrasensory perception a foot around their body. And
if you don't know what a foot is, it's about 30 centimeters. So it's right down about a foot off their body, so quite low. It's really hard to describe some of these things, but it's really, really still. Not paralyzed, but just completely suspended in midair. But within that energy field, from the skin level to the edge of the energy field, it is supercharged. Like everything is really active in there and all the senses are pinging. What happened?
I wonder if she has a video about what the fox says, John. Yeah, she doesn't seem like she's like a I don't know. Like she's what I'm gathering, what I'm picking up is she does like a surface level research on the animal, and then her message is a conservation one, so I can't really fault that.
What happens though is that other animals or humans can't see them until they're basically on top of them. And it just reminded me of the stealth bomber. You don't hear them until they're over the top of you. Well, at least in Top Gun you don't. And so what would happen is an animal would come in and they wouldn't feel them until they're basically on top of them. When I ask them when they do this, it's often when they're resting. So I'm assuming that that is actually pretty much the same as how a domesticated cat makes themselves invisible. You know those times you go looking for Fritz and Fritz is nowhere to be seen. We've looked on top of the bookcase 15 times and Fritz is definitely not there. But on the 16th time, when Fritz is ready to be seen, there she is. You can see Fritz. So I thought that might be the...
I don't know if she thinks that cats really have some metaphysical ability to turn invisible. I don't think that checks out. But they do have good camouflage. Some cats, especially, again, the snow leopard's my favorite one to talk about great camouflage.
The end of our show and tell, but apparently not, because we had to look at paws, we had to look at whiskers, we had to look at the tail and all the sensors around the hair and all of those things. So we went off then to the paws. Now, what they showed me was this hot paw, which they're not always like that, but this scorching hot paw, which if it touched my face, it would sizzle. When this paw is on the ground, these 4 paws, and they're really hot, what I see from the center of the paw down into the earth, a foot or 2, is just this really strong connection, like they're locked in, and it feels very magnetic. So, they're very heavy on the earth, but not heavy like they're fighting gravity. It's heavy like they are recharging, like you've plugged a battery into charge, and that's what they're doing. They're charging themselves up, and they're also healing themselves because what I'm showing is the heart rate drops.
They're healing themselves. I'm just concerned if an animal is actually sick and she talks to them and gives people the wrong information on them. Yeah, that's a concern. Or again, helping people find lost pets is awful. To grift people that lost their animal. 90% of the time, my 2 black cats think they're hiding themselves. Half of their butt is sticking out from the blanket or box and everyone can see them, right? Yeah, they think they're being stealthy, but yeah. Or it's just like when you see them try to jump and they do a derpy jump instead and hit the wall. So cute.
The respiratory system starts to slow down, the nervous system calms down, the adrenal glands, they also relax. So when their feet are hot and they connect in, they are recharging. Now, when they're just kind of cruising around doing jaguar things, their feet are more body temperature and they're very, very light. Their entire body's very light.
This sounds like something we could actually do an experiment on. We could take the paw temperature of a jaguar at rest and a jaguar on the move and see which is hotter. I would speculate that the jaguar on the move would be hotter because it's the just second law of thermodynamics, right? The more you're moving and the more the machines are pumping, the more heat your body generates.
Well, where when they are plugged in, their body is really, really not heavy, but strong. It's like, oh, I just feel so powerful.
No,
Like
she's
a
doing a
powerful
jaguar walk.
I just feel so powerful. Like a powerful jaguar. Oh, I just feel so powerful. Like a powerful jaguar. Oh, I just feel so powerful. Like a powerful jaguar. Hello, Mr. Jaguar. Mr. Jaguar. I could do a rap song here. Anyway, carry on. So that was very interesting. Now, I thought we'd finished, but show and tell was not finished. We went to the tail. And right at the end of their tail is like this bulb sort of thing. And it may not actually look like a bulb, but the end of the tail, you know, about this far down the end of the tail, is highly, highly sensitive. And so what I see with that, I see this tail kind of swishing and kind of moving. And I hear that they can...
Well, they have pheromone. They release pheromones from that area too, so they weave their tail around to spread those. Do you want to watch it again? Do I need to do the jaguar thing again?
They can sense up to about 15 meters behind them and around their back end, which, you know, the back end, this is our base chakra there. It's the area of safety and survival. So they need to have eyes at the back of their butt, and it happens to be their tail in many ways. From there, I'm taken to the fur on their back, or really on their entire body.
We'll go back and do it again when we finish the video. We're about halfway done.
And when I feel that, when that is kind of working, and again, that kind of moves and it's looking around, it's like another set of eyes or lots of eyes, but it feels really, really strong and almost like if you pressed your hand on it, it would be like a porcupine spine. So it feels really stiff and sharp. Now,
So the jaguar has a etheric spiny porcupine tail that detects stuff.
tell again, it was still not over because I'm walking and I'm trying to finish off and I'm just trying to, watch the ocean and listen to the birds. But Black Jag was just not quite ready to finish off with his information. Excuse me. And this was interesting. We've gone to the whiskers. So we're just kind of having a look at all the senses, really. We were at the whiskers.
I think that, but in fairness, I think that's the way that that they say it in the UK and Australia and South Africa is jaguar. I know we say jaguar in the West, but like it's like jaguar or jaguar, like Jagwaur. That's how you kind of pronounce it, jaguar. But some people say jaguar. I'll say jaguar sometimes when I'm talking real fast, like Jagwire, but usually I say jaguar. Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I wanted to know what it was like to have them damaged or cut off, because I know there's some rather unsavory humans out there that cut the whiskers on their cats. And I can't even imagine it. But I was shown this by the jaguar, what it feels like. So these whiskers...
I was shown this by the jaguar. It has giant whiskers that bristle out from its face. I can talk like I'm not American. I don't know what accent this is. It's not her accent, but it's one that comes out when I try to talk like this. I almost lost my voice.
Because I see them sort of fanning, like the tail. I see them fanning back and forth and kind of individually moving.
Evil people cut the whiskers off of cats. Who does that? I've accidentally cut my little doggie's whiskers one time. I felt bad about it. But it's not as bad for doggies as it is for kitties.
And they're all like little antennas, as are the tail and the fur. Like there's just little antennas going on all over the place. They were super, super charged. And when I see one of them cut, I just feel my entire strength disappear from my face, my head. I feel myself just melting into the ground. And then I see this big wave that goes down to the back end. So that then is the point of communication, and all the senses have to be hyper vigilant back there. Now, that is if all of the whiskers were taken out, say, but if I just have one whisker that is cut. I feel the same.
Some gurus claim they can feel hair being cut when they became enlightened, and why they stopped cutting their hair and beards. Really? I think I can feel my hair being cut. But I think it's like vibrating down the strand of the hair, right?
Same thing. Now they recover from that. It's like they've got to go and step away and just kind of regroup a little bit. But I see all of the whiskers kind of losing some of their power just with one going out. So if you took all of them off, if you pulled them out or you cut them off or they were damaged in some way, they would have no system to feel where they are and what's going on around them. So do not ever cut the whiskers off your cat, because actually
that's just good advice in general. Never cut the whiskers off of any animal. It's not your. It's cruel. That's part of their sensory perception. That'd be like if, like, say, hey, let me clamp your nose for a couple of weeks, because that's how long it's going to take for they to get their bearings back. You know, weeks to months. It's like, let me clamp off your nose so you can't smell. That's part of their sensory perception. Don't do that to them. Seals, don't ever do that to a seal. That's a death sentence to a seal. They use those to feel. Star-nosed moles. Mm-hmm.
Aside from the fact that I just feel like all of the systems shutting down in the body, it hurts. Yep, it may just look like a little bit of thick cotton, but it actually hurts when you cut them. It's a sharp, knife-like pain.
Also, whiskers do not look like cotton. So if you see a cat with whiskers look like cotton, it's probably stuck its face in something with cobwebs in it, and they're all stuck on its whiskers. Because, yeah, whiskers look more like a nylon guitar string to me.
That I sense when I'm sensing that. Now, here's something that fascinated me. When I was looking through the eyes at daytime, it wasn't crisp and sharp. Nighttime there was a lot more clarity. When I was hearing through the ears, very, very sharp. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I was sniffing through the nose, that was just it was such a powerful, powerful sense. But not only that, as I breathed in, I got an image in my jaguar.
If you could really do what she's claiming that she can do, I'd be going full superhero with it. You'd be seeing me out with my legion of animals that I speak to and commune with, that we go out and, I don't know, like help those in need, bring supplies to places where humans can't get to, like I could like train animals to bring food to third world countries and stuff, like load up a whale with all of our excess produce and fly it to, or not fly it, like put it on, or you could fly it, you could get birds to carry it, something like that, to areas that are currently in need, especially areas in East Africa and in the Middle East, where they are still experiencing just the most wretched weather conditions. So that's what I would do if I had her powers, or what she's claiming she can do. Use it for something. Help some people. Help some animals too. Could get a whole freaking pod of like blue whales to just go around and round the North Pacific gyre till it's all compressed into a small, the tightest area that it can be compressed in. And then we can move it to Antarctica where it can freeze solid, and then we can deal with it that way. I could do all kinds of stuff with animal powers.
For like mind of what that smell connected to. So for example, if there was a man out there, whatever, far away, with a gun, poaching, and I sniffed and I smelt man with gun, that image of a man with a gun came into my mind at the same time.
Was it one of Donald Trump's sons?
That's amazing. The smell is connected to the vision. I loved it. So that's the black jaguar. Don't you love them? I don't know if you can see. You know, they have those rosettes like the regular jaguars do in that blackness. They're a beautiful animal. All right, my friends, that is our journey for today through our black jaguar. I hope you've enjoyed hearing what it feels like to be in this most amazing animal's body. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear some more, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it around with all of your friends, like and comment and all those types of things so we can be more seen. I will be back at you with some more animal love later on. Thanks for watching. I'm Romy Bueller, the Holistic Animal Health Coach, and I talk to animals because they can't always help themselves.
So now they brought it up, I have to clarify about the Trump, the Trumpkins are just the worst. Just the absolute worst. If there's any doubt. Don Jr. and Eric Trump hunting endangered animals. Hunting, yeah, because they probably, the animals tagged and they have trackers on it and stuff. It's, yeah. So, that's not the whole one I wanted, though. Just a second here. Here we go. Check this crap out. They got the picture. Maybe they don't. No, the picture's been deleted. But they hunt lots of... That's the one. That's the picture I'm looking for right there. Why? What do you gain from doing that? African elephant. Cape buffalo. It's a greater kudu. Crocodile. Probably Nile crocodile. Can't be sure though. Is it an eland? Like a giant eland? The images were unaltered and accurately described, although they are not recent. In December 2015, the photos received broad media coverage at the time they were initially released, well before the start of Trump Sr.'s bid for the White House. On the 13th of March 2012, the website Gothamist published an article titled "Photos Donald Trump's Sons Awesome at Killing Elephants and Other Wildlife" said. And animal rights activists are revolted by a series of trophy photos that have emerged showing Eric and Donald Trump Jr. posing with a dead elephant, kudu, civet cat, water buck, while on a big game safari in Zimbabwe last year. In one photo, Donald Jr. proudly holds a dead elephant's tail. Don't be making me jump around. In one hand and a knife in the other. In another, the brothers are seen standing beside a 12.8 foot crocodile. So this crocodile is probably 60, 70 years old. Maybe more like 40 years old. But still, it's lived a long life. Crocodile hanging from a noose off a tree. Activists obtained the photos and created a video montage of Trump's big hunt. British tabloid, the Daily Mail, concurrently ran the photos in a piece titled, "I have no shame, I hunt and eat game." Donald Trump's sons pictured posing with their trophy carcasses of big African hunt. You did not eat that leopard. You did not eat that crocodile. You did not eat that elephant. You didn't. You're a liar if you say you did. It cites the website Hunting Legend as a source for the photographs. In March 2012, Donald Trump Jr. sent several tweets that addressed the controversy. "I assure you it was not wasteful. The villagers were so happy for the meat, which they didn't often get to eat. Very grateful. You're a smart guy. You can learn nothing from Bob Parson and GoDaddy. Which would be what? I'm not going to run and hide because the PETA crazies don't like me. You're killing endangered species, asshole. The Daily Mail quoted since deleted tweet published by Donald Trump Jr. in March 2012. Not a PR move. I didn't give the pics, but I have no shame about them either. I hunt and eat game. I am a hunter. I do not hide from that. He said in another critic on Twitter. I'm just, this guy, Donald Trump Jr. reminds me of the Jarl of Farstead, the supplanted his uncle or whatever, and it's like I just hunt the best game and eat the most exotic dishes and whatnot. They just live a life of luxury and don't understand how normal people see them. In addition, additional sightings. Donald Trump Jr.'s hunting interest made headlines in December 2019 when ProPublica reports raised questions about a permit he received to shoot argali in Mongolia. The IUCN Red List considers the wild sheep near threatened as of 2008. So yeah, they're just trash people. That doesn't have anything to do with the topic. I don't even know why I went into that rant about it, but yeah. Anyway, so the cool thing about bears too is not yet. So that was our foray into more animal psychics for this morning, and a little bit of conservation topics because she got me in the mood to talk about it. So yeah, fuck the Trump people. And I did promise that I'd go back and do the Jaguar thing again, didn't I? Oh, so that was about, there we go.
Like a powerful jaguar. Hello, Mr. Powerful. Not heavy, but strong. It's like, oh, I just feel so powerful. Like a powerful jaguar. Hello, Mr. Jaguar. Mr. Jaguar. I could do a rap song here. Anyway, Mr. Jaguar. Mr. Jaguar. I could do a rap song here. Anyway.
Don't rap. No.
So that was very interesting.
There we go. I'll have to clip that. The sassy jaguar walk. Oh yeah. I'll make a rap song about it. About the like a jaguar. Hello, Mr. Jaguar. Yeah, we can do that. All right. So that was a fun little segment.
There is no spoon. There is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon.